there, it's Mitzi. Welcome to my channel. Today I just wanted to touch base with you on a few updates on some readathons that I've been participating in over last week, continuing into this week. And so I thought I would share some of those things with you today. And I have been participating in the Little House readathon and the Love Your Library readathon. And I'll leave links to those down below because they have several videos, announcements for these, and different things going on. And then the Little House was last week, and there are several videos you don't want to miss of that, so I will leave a link to those down below as well. So I went to my library and I had a great time choosing my own adventure, because that's what you were to do with the Loving Your Library readathon. There were several different prompts which were different areas of your library that you could choose from. And so I actually printed it out so I could take it with me. And I went through the library on my own adventure. And it was a lot of fun, because if you follow my channel, you know that my library has just recently been renovated. And the library that is our main branch, I'm fortunate enough to live among 3 different branches of our library that are super close to me. But the main branch, the biggest, it's an older building. It was, for many years in the 1800s, it was the school, and it housed all the grades. And then it became the elementary school, and then finally they built another elementary school, and they made this building the library, the public library. And so it's been there for a long time, and it's needed renovations for a very long time as well. And so I was excited for the renovations, because it's been really a hassle to go to the library lately because of them renovating. They would move books around and all of that. So they had a soft opening. So that means that part of it has been finished, but now you can go through the whole library. Even though they haven't finished completely with the renovations, you can go through the whole library. And I just went on a journey through the library. And so that was one of the prompts. Kate Howe's prompt was to read a retelling. Hers was fairy tales, and it was to read a retelling, read a book with a beautiful cover, an epic quest, browse and find an intriguing book. So that was the first thing I did. I went on an epic quest, and I just kind of browsed because I wanted to check out the new look of the library first of all. And so I went through and I looked at all the different books, and I just pulled from the shelves and looked at their displays. It was a lot of fun. And so I found a book that I think fits all 3 of those prompts, and it's called Malisand by E. Nesbitt, and it is a picture book of a fairy tale retelling, and has this gorgeous cover, which I thought was just beautiful. And it is by E. Nesbitt, and if you follow my channel, you know that we are going to be reading The Railway Children by E. Nesbitt in March, and with our Kindred Spirits Club that Kate Howe hosts. So I have had E. Nesbitt on the brain, and so I went to the section where E. Nesbitt would be housed, and I found this one. And so I haven't read this one yet, but this is one of them I checked out when I went to the library. So that one basically covers a beautiful cover, a fairy tale, and browsing to find an intriguing book. So I was excited to get that one. And then also I was participating in the Little House readathon last week. It was for 4 days, and it was the birth date and the death date of Laura Ingalls Wilder. And for that challenge, Elizabeth at Lizzie Faye Loves Books and Naomi's Bookshelf hosted that one, and I'll again leave a link to that. But she asked us just to read anything pertaining to the Little House books or Laura Ingalls Wilder. Well, they had a group read that I really wanted to read, but my branch didn't have it. None of the branches in my area had it, so it would have taken too long to get that. But I am going to check that out eventually, because it sounded like a really good one. But I did find a couple of picture books when I found this fairy tale book. I found a couple of those in that same area, so I picked those up. And I picked up Pioneer Girl, the story of Laura Ingalls Wilder. And this one is basically just a biography, a picture book biography of Laura Ingalls Wilder. And it really was good. It was super basic, of course, for kids, but it was thorough. It was detailed enough, and it had these beautiful pictures inside that were really pretty. And I really enjoyed this one, and it made me want to read more biographies about Laura Ingalls Wilder. Now, on Lizzie Faye Loves Books, she had shown a book. She's shown this several times on her channel, and I've jotted it down because I want it. It's another book called Pioneer Girl, but it is an adult version. It's a pretty long, thick book, and I think that's super detailed about Laura Ingalls Wilder, so I really want that one, and I'm going to put that one on my wish list, because after reading this, I want to read that one. And then I also picked up Laura's album, A Remembrance Scrapbook of Laura Ingalls Wilder. And this one is the same thing. It's a biography. But what was neat about this one was it had pictures and letters and clippings and all kinds of things that she had collected. Apparently, Laura Ingalls Wilder kept every note, scrap of paper that was written on, everything. In this book, there are receipts, there are calling cards, there's lots of pictures of her relatives and her family, and her and Almanzo. There's a picture of her teaching certificate, a Sunday school class, just all kinds of wonderful things are in this book. And I just had a great time just going through this, reading again the details pretty much that were found in the biography, but then seeing all these fun little trinkets that she had collected through the years. So it's basically like a museum in a book. So if you are new to Laura Ingalls Wilder, or maybe you're reading it with your kids or someone, this would be a great one to introduce them to Laura Ingalls Wilder in another way. It's a great celebration of Laura Ingalls Wilder. So I really enjoyed that too. I know that a lot of times as adults we avoid the picture book section, but I don't. When I go to the library, I always walk through the picture books and look to see if there's something new on the shelf, because I love art. And so if you get a great picture book with those beautiful illustrations, you're basically getting a book of art, because every one of those illustrations someone had to paint or draw or whatever, and so they're pretty much a collection of about 32 pages worth of beautiful illustrations. So I highly recommend picture books for adults. I think that when we're older, we really can appreciate those more as adults, because of the work that's been put into those illustrations, and the author and the illustrator coming together to tell the story is just beautiful. So when you get a chance, go to your local library and pick out some of these picture books. I hope you'll check some of those out. So then back to the Love in Your Library. So I did the Kate Howe adventure, and then I did Naomi's bookshelf adventure, which was not a novel. And I went to the young adult section, and again I was just on my epic quest, so I was browsing around, and I found a graphic novel, which is one of the things Naomi had asked us to find, and it was George Orwell's Animal Farm. And I just loved the look of this book. I just thought it was so pretty, and it really captured my attention, because for one thing, this one is easy to read. A lot of the graphic novels I see are more like comic books, and I don't know if it's my attention span or what it is, but I am like overstimulated when I see those, and it's like I don't know where to look. I'm looking ahead and not reading. I'm not focused very well, basically, when I look at those graphic novels. But this one there's a lot more white space on the page, and so I was like, okay, I can handle that. And so I haven't read this yet, but I'm going to read that this week. I love Animal Farm. I'm one of the people that actually loves that book. We had to read that in high school, and I didn't enjoy it that much in high school, of course, because it was assigned. But once I was older, as an adult, I went back and reread it, and I realized really what George Orwell was trying to say. And I happened to love the book. I thought it was a story using animals. The allegory using animals was fantastic to me. And so it's one that I wouldn't mind looking at again, rereading. And so I thought this graphic novel would be a good way to do that. So I picked up a graphic novel. The other was an audiobook. And so I am reading through the Anne of Green Gables with a group. We read Anne of Green Gables in January, and this month we're reading Anne of Avonlea. I checked that out in audiobook version. I have the hard copy of it, but I decided that would be my audiobook, because I don't do a lot of audiobooks, but I thought I would try that, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and it's fun to do audiobooks to change it up sometimes. So I checked that out from my library. And then I also picked up a movie. So Naomi's challenge was to read a graphic novel, check out an audiobook, and watch a show or a movie. And so I had watched Nikki at Red Dot Reads, and she mentioned Remains of the Day. And I loved that book. Many years ago I read it, and it stuck with me. I still remember it. I kept the book, so I need to reread it because I plan on rereading it again. And I liked it. It had an unreliable narrator, and I liked that. But there is a movie, and I kept forgetting to look for the movie, and I've wanted to watch it for a very long time. I mean, it's an older movie. I'm not sure when this came out, but I checked it out, Remains of the Day, and it has Emma Thompson and Anthony Hopkins in it, and other people you would recognize as well. It was so good. I really enjoyed it, and now I want to reread the book. And if you haven't read Remains of the Day, please pick that book up and read it, and then you can watch the movie, because they did a great job with the movie too. So I was able to meet Kate's challenge for fairy tales and Naomi's challenge for not a novel. And I also met Catherine's challenge, which was warm drink, something sweet, and try something new. And I took that literally, because I came home and I used my espresso machine to make me a warm drink. And I had gone by, we have this little place, it's called Sheila's Bakery. It's this cute little bakery shop in our area, and they make all homemade everything, and their pastries are just so good. They're just delicious. So I went by there, and they were because it's February, they had a lot of little Valentine themed pastries. So I picked up a Valentine heart-shaped donut, I fixed a warm drink, and I read a new book. So to me, that was meeting her challenge, because I drank a warm drink, I had something sweet, and I tried a new book. And so that was fun to do, because it gave me an excuse to actually sit down, enjoy dessert, an espresso, and read, of course, which is what I always want to do. So this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this. I had a great time touring the new library, the soft opening of our new library renovations, and I was excited about that. And it was a great way for me to have an excuse to go visit my library. But you know what? We don't need an excuse to go to the library. So if you have a library in your area that is open that you're able to go to, make sure you go and just take a stroll. You know, I actually schedule time in my month to go at least once a month to go through the library. Now, I haven't been able to do that lately because of the lockdowns and renovations, but now that it's back open, I plan to continue doing that, because I've always enjoyed my weekly, sometimes monthly visits to the library. So what have you been reading? Did you participate in any of these readathons? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.